Are you guys ready for big? I better zoom out. I don't know if I can zoom out enough. Okay. What this is, it looks like a box of printer paper. Oh, that's what I didn't get. I had a friend who bought like some kind of Les Paul online. Wasn't the most, probably wasn't the most well authenticated seller, and he was shipped a package of printer paper. I hope he got his money back, but you never know. You know, could be one of those things where he paid cash. TGP deal or something. Who can tell me what this is? I'll tell you now, it doesn't fall into any of the categories that I've officially stated for the vintage gear shootouts thus far. And I don't even know what category I would place this in. Like if somebody was like, what kind of pedal is that? I would have to say it. Something like that. I wouldn't have an answer. Looks like it's got a big trailer on it, and it has an AC cord coming off of it. But it's not red, so it's not a Digitech whammy. It appears to be chrome. I actually mentioned this in a previous video. This is a Morley Power Fuzz. Yeah. If you've never heard of it, rank yourselves among most people who haven't. I do see it's got a City of Los Angeles sticker on it there. So this has been deemed suitable back in the 60s or 70s, whenever they were issuing those. You got your in and out on one side of the pedal. That is unique to these guys. Over here you have your intensity and your tone. Look at these monster backlight oven knobs. I mean, this goes to broil, it should say. Okay, I've got a hair tie on it's a 2-pronger. Well, we got a big bag of 3-prongers, and it also appears to be loose down here. But not to fear, folks. That's why we have a rule here at Rewind Electric, which I might have mentioned before. I'm considering loosening the rule on such things as this, which have no AC power. They're only battery powered. But certainly on AC powered devices, we've got a rule that if you want to hear it, you got to open it up first. So let's get cracking. I'm gonna need a tiny little socket driver. I might have one. Well, this might be ever so slightly not tiny enough to fit this set. Got a couple more options. I mean, I have the right one, it's just where is it? Different sizes of kits. Sometimes this is what you need. Yes, it is in this case. I've never been inside one of these. I've never heard one of these. Well, I mean, I've heard one. I've never played one of these. It has this kind of unique mechanism here where a threaded rod that appears to have some kind of wire or twine on it is being pulled around. Maybe it's kind of like one of those Ernie Ball volume pedals where there's a twine that goes the length of it on the bottom and loops around a pot shaft. I imagine that's the case. A lot of new technologies for treadles like this. magnets and proximity sensors. There's another term for that. I forget what it is offhand now. But the audio company Rane, R-A-N-E, uses some stuff like that in their DJ mixers, which get a lot of hands-on and probably a lot of beers on. But there's no audio signal passing through it, and not just like a VCA where it's like, yeah, there's not an audio signal passing through it, but there is an electrical voltage which controls an audio signal, and so it can still crackle. It's like a magnet that moves back and forth on the fader, and it has a sensor on either side that detects how close the magnet is. So you could pour your beer right in and you'd be just fine. Unless your beer is magnetic. Ferric. People get fussy with me if I say magnetic when I mean ferric. But there's also diamagnetic. So I don't think I'm wrong. I think people are just overly particular. Do you know what diamagnetic is? Did you know that? Did you know that there's metals that are not attracted to magnets, but repelled by them? That is a fact. Look it up. It's actually kind of important regarding what I typically do, which is guitar pickups. People watching me on YouTube that only know me here probably think I'm a pedal guy. This is all just like hobby. Basically, it's kind of for kicks. It's just to put out some reference material for the world. I don't make a penny on this stuff. I do enjoy it, but this is just something I'm doing for an hour or so in the evenings after my regular job, which is mostly building pickups. Okay. This is really nice. This is, first of all, it's super clean for something so old. There's one little piece of cat hair in here. This is cool. I've seen this before, this kind of band. Now I remember why that's attached, or now I see what that threaded rod is doing there. This is, it's kind of like a seatbelt material. Oh, what? So this might work in a way cooler way than I anticipated. No, might. It certainly does. This is cool. Okay. All right. I was just kind of talking about those new technologies in the Rane mixers, which, they're not that new. A couple decades, but have a look at this. Let me get my wooden poking stick out here. It's going to be a wooden pointing stick this evening. Do you see this and this? These are optical sensors, just like you would see inside a Univibe. Or probably an optical compressor as well. And I'm going to wipe them off without moving them. But I think what's going on here is they are sensing probably the light from this light. There's a light bulb here, which is also sitting behind this. It's the pilot light, but it's not stuffed into that jewel case like a Fender amp pilot light would be. It's just sitting behind it, so light's coming out both directions, also down here. And as you lower the pedal, you begin to block those sensors with that black fabric material here. And that's why they've got photographer's tape all around. That's what this black paper tape is. It's a carbon-based paper tape used by photographers to block light. Oh, look at that. Look what it is. Can you see it from this side? I can see it clearly now. It's Tolex. It's not seatbelt material. It's a piece of Tolex. Wow. Well, that is brilliant. So you'll never have a crackle in here. You'll never have a pot that fails for mechanical reasons. You might have a wire that was the thing I thought was a thread or a wire attached to the treadle. It's just this piece of tape here has failed. It was holding that up. Well, I happen to have such a piece of tape right here. Whoop! That was too small. Look at that. I mean, did I have the right stuff here or what? That's the pickup or the tape I use for pickup coils to cover up the ends of coil jumper wires. Let's see. I'm just gonna tuck all these wires in neatly right here. Oh, I should wipe it down with a little Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol. Apparently we've gone a little past opening the mail into service here, but that's okay, right? Oh, there they are. This is just going to allow it to adhere to that metal, which is kind of dusty and crusty. Okay. Okay. That's nice. That's very nice. Let's keep those wires out of the way. Okay. Let's explore this circuit a little bit while we're inside. First of all, this is a little too loose for me. It's a hardwired switch here, meaning that these two jumper leads come off of it and connect to neutral on the AC cord. And there is no ground. I will have to install one somewhere. Find a good spot. Is this steel or aluminum? That is steel. Whoa. Yeah, well, that transformer's iron, so that really wants it. Come back here now. Get off my transformer. Maybe if that transformer is bolted to the chassis, through the chassis. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to make that my ground point. Although I don't like that it's on the PCB. It's really weird that the transformer is bolted through the PCB to the steel chassis. Maybe I can get a big ground lug on there. That's a possibility too. Or on this pot. We have some options. Let's look at the pot dates. What do we have here? These are a CTS and a stack pole, I think. So what do we have for codes? Let's have a look. Kind of hard to see on the camera, for me at least. Well, you can see it perhaps. I'm going to have to look off the camera to see it myself. (137) CTS. Oh, I need my glasses. Okay. 137 77. And then this is a... Well, that's interesting. They're both CTS. They're entirely different, though. This is 13773. So also CTS 1973, 1977. 100K. We don't know K. Very different designs. This is 73. This is 77. This is a little bit crusty. I'm going to brush it off. Okay. I think what I'm going to do on this one, because there is always a possibility that it doesn't work or there's some problem and it needs to go back, is, now that I see this and I see there's no major shorts, it's electrically sound, except for this piece of electrical tape that was holding it together has come off. That was on the neutral. It doesn't really matter. Wire nuts don't really need that. I'm going to fire it up with a ground clamped to the chassis. So I'm going to fire it up with a 2-prong cord, but I'll be providing my own ground. So it's just fine and safe. And then if all works well, I'll replace the power cord. I don't want to replace the power cord, fire it up, find out it doesn't work, and then have the seller be like, hey, I don't know what you did, but you messed with it. Because it's just a mess I don't want to get into. Before I do that, I was going to see if I could possibly see what transistors these are. There's several different kinds. Yeah, I'm afraid that can't tell, although that one looks like it has some color stripes on it. Maybe we'll dig a little bit more into that after I test it, because I'm going to have to measure the dimensions and such of these caps anyway. So put this back on. No, I'm going to leave it off. And it goes this way. I'm going to have to just have it resting on the bench here. I don't think I'm going to plug it in or set it on the floor. I want it here where I can have a little more control over it. This power cord is very dry. So as long as this pedal works, I'm definitely replacing this. Now I'm going to plug it into the Variac first. Bring up the power slowly. I'm also going to ground this as we talked about. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm just going to grab it externally right here. It's not super solid though. I do the power switch, but it's kind of oxidized. About right here. Yeah, that's actually not really impeding its travel at all. That'll be good. And then I can ground this. See, my multimeter has a nice ground point on it. I don't know if I can reach the Variax chassis or not. Not easily. Let's see. Is my scope on? Yes. Okay. Ground it to the scope. Okay. Does that all seem wise? I think so. Okay. I'm not going to plug in the amp in the instrument yet because we're going to bring it up on power first. I don't know if this switch is on or off because it's too crusty, so we're going to find out by what happens. Okay. Remember the rule now. If you guys see smoke, you tell me. Okay, we're at 19 volts, no current. 0.01 amps at 40 volts. Seems reasonable. Same at 50, 60, now 0.02 at 62. Seems very reasonable. 80 volts, still 0.02. Same at 88, 90, 0.03 at 90. Okay, we're up to 115, and it's drawing 0.04 amps. I don't know if you can see it, but the indicator light is on. Everything seems groovy. Now if I take that back down, turn the switch, bring this back up slow, what happens? Okay, nothing. So that's the off position. This is the on position. I'm at 115 volts. Okay, I'm gonna just throw the full fire at the 78 Princeton reverb here and plug it straight in. And there it goes, it's on. Gonna plug in here. And here. Definitely sounds like it's wahing just by the... There's the fuzz. All right. Okay, let's grab a guitar. And perhaps our last sip of a Topo Chico. Excuse me. All right, your guess is almost as good as mine as to what we're going to hear. way more of a kind of hi-fi sweep than you would get on a Dunlop or a Vox. Let's try the fuzz. Let's try the fuzz by itself first. Very bright and edgy. Kind of reminds me of Moss Right, Fuzz Right when it's way up there. But the tone rolls it off. It's still edgy, but it's more creamy. And I forgot how there's a thing about Morley pedals that I just remembered right now. And that is that when you don't have whatever the function is, when you don't have it set to wah or flange or phase or whatever, they have a bunch of different types, it acts as a volume pedal rather than this doing nothing. Kind of sounds to me like it's blending between fuzz and clean. But sometimes fuzz is just clean up, so maybe it's doing that. That does clean up nice. Cleans up better than the big muff. But what doesn't? Like that starved bias gated sound. Not my kind of fuzz. Too choppy, too gatey for me. Actually, when you roll the guitar volume down, it gets less gatey. Less fuzzy, but less gatey. Okay, let's try with wah also. I think it's going to get really, really loud. Maybe I should turn the intensity down. Sounds like the Call of Cthulhu, doesn't it? There's a reason for that. I don't know how to do that. No. So there's something about, it seems to me that the fuzz circuit's before the wah as far as the signal chain goes. So that wah is like really grabbing that fuzz and unleashing it at will. But it's letting a little bit of that top end through, even all the way back. And then there comes the mids, a lot of low mids, and then upper mids, and then upper mids more and lower treble. That's wild. That's a really, really specific and unique sound. And what did I just do? Oh, I guess it just gets real buzzy because I have the tone up and the intensity up. So, alright, so as long as the guitar volume's up, it's doing that gated thing no matter what these are set to. Which I don't like, but there's somewhere in there's a transistor that can be biased to not do that. And maybe I'll do that, or maybe I'll just remember that you gotta roll back. It actually doesn't clean up that that great. I mean, pretty good. All right, it's gritty and gnarly though. I think we're gonna be done playing with sound on that for a little bit. Okay, we'll turn it off.